Am I the asshole for sending my brother a list of every item of ours that my nephew ruined? For the context, I have a niece Bella 7F and a nephew Michael 10M. They are my brother Alex's kids. I love them both, but I have a much closer relationship with Bella. Michael is a good kid, but he is a ticking time bomb. He is absolutely uncontrollable. I'm his aunt and I love him, but I really can't have him around for long. The last time he was in our house, he poured my nail polish collection onto my wife's favorite silk Persian carpet. And that isn't even one of the damage he has done. My wife and I recently bought a villa out of town. It has a game room, pool, and many things Bella adores. So we offered to give her a tour of the place and let her check out the rose garden there, if Alex and his wife agreed. Alex said either both Michael and Bella were to be included or none of them were going. My wife and I both insisted to only take Bella, but he was not having it, so we said we would just go by ourselves. Alex got really mad at us and said it was disgusting that we favored Bella because she was a girl and that we were both hypocritical and unfair to Michael, and never included him in our plans. I told my brother that Michael was an uncontrollable kid. He had the audacity to ask what Michael had done. I told him I'd let him know I've told him the items over the years as it happened, but he always said it was an accident and that Michael's a boy and boys play rough. I made a table including every item my nephew damages in our house and the estimated cost. It included a few of my wife's antique vases, her glass statue of the Eiffel Tower, carpet, several of my wife's crystal decorative items and 2 phones. He flushed them down the toilet. Even the mirror of my car. I sent the list to Alex. He is now extremely angry with me, and thinks I am being an arrogant person, and taking after my wife's trait of being an uptight rich kid. I am not talking to him at the moment. Was what I did territory? Not the asshole. He asked, not your fault. He doesn't like the answer. No way, what you did was territory. I thought maybe you'd kept a list of everything he'd broken next to your heart to bring out at all times. He opted to play dumb, so you were 100 right to bring up every situation you could remember at that point. Not the asshole. Alex, what did he even do? OP, here's a list. Alex, how dare you show me a list of all your fancy stuff, show off. Having nice things doesn't give someone else the right to take or destroy those things. Being male isn't an excuse for being destructive, rowdy, rude, etc. If anything, he's implying he doesn't think much of his son if he thinks boys aren't capable of appropriate behavior and that everyone should just accept him as he is. Seems like the easiest solution would be to say, Michael can come, but you need to come too, then, and be responsible for making sure nothing gets broken. Not the asshole. He literally asked what his kid had done, you answered. I wouldn't let that kid near my stuff either. Not the asshole. He asked, and the kid is 10, he knows better and does it anyway. I would not want to bring him to a villa. I just bow ether. I'm sorry, I think something is very wrong with a 10-year-old acting like this. I'm a mom and a grandma of lively, curious kids, and they never were destructive like this. That kid is screaming for some kind of help or attention. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He asked and you gave your answer. Your brother is just mad he didn't win the argument, LMAO. He literally asked for it. Just out of curiosity, what is the estimated total loss for items he damaged? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Start sending him bills every time something is damaged. Not the asshole. He asked. He found out. Not the asshole. He asked, you answered. You don't want your home property destroyed by your nephew. If he doesn't get that, then it's his problem. Not the asshole. And I hope you had a dollar invoice total at the bottom. And the amount of bond he could put up in order for you to feel comfortable allowing Michael into your home again. Not the asshole. Good, you sent him the list and I hope you sent along with it the invoice of total amount that they need to reimburse you for. Seems to me like the reason why your nephew is acting the way he is because his father is a petulant child and not an adult. Not the asshole. That kid needs therapy like 5 years ago. You don't want to. We need to talk about Kevin's scenario. Not the asshole. He flushed two phones down the toilet. That kid's not playing rough, he's doing all this crap on purpose. He finds joy in ruining your things, and there are no consequences, so why stop? I give you one guess who enables this little monster. Not the asshole, and you better not bend on this. Not the asshole. He asked and got a list. Not the asshole. I'm reminded of the King of the Hill episode where a new neighbor boy is a menace and Bobby plays that same game on The Neighbors, JS. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect a 10-year-old to have basic manners, like not pouring nail polish that isn't his on a carpet that isn't his. That's not boys will be boys behavior. Boys will be boys behavior is when a young boy has a hard time sitting still and paying attention because he wants to be outside. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He asked. He had the audacity to ask what Michael had done. You answered. I made a table including every item my nephew damages in our house and the estimated cost. Seems pretty simple to me. Not the asshole. I hate when people push favorites, but you have clearly documented how Michael is destructive. Actively destructive. These aren't ups boys be boys, deliberately flushing phones and pouring polish out is malice. He has issues. It sounds like your brother is fostering by encouraging his apparent jealousy of your wife's, I assume from the comment, wealth and status. It doesn't matter if it was a Persian rug or a $10 mainstays rug from Walmart, it's still destruction and unhinged behavior. Not the asshole. He asked. You answered. Tell him you'll consider it if he puts down a $10,000 damage deposit ahead of time. Not the asshole. He asked. You answered. I think the question of inviting Only Bella on excursions is a bit trickier, and I feel like nobody here is really sitting down to think through the smartest, healthiest way to deal with the bigger problem, but you're asking about the list, and that one's easy. Not the asshole. Has your brother had his angel tested? To make sure he's not just acting out. At 10 that's a bit much. Not the asshole. Is it just me, or did it seem that list was mostly Ark's wife's things? Info: does nephew have this destructive reputation elsewhere? Could he be acting out against your wife because he feels she stole his aunt? Just a list. I would have sent them a bill. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If anything, your brother is obviously the sexist one, since he apparently thinks Michael's gender means his destructive behavior is acceptable, despite being the older child. Not the asshole. That's not normal behavior for a 10-year-old. Not the asshole. I have a nephew just like this and I don't let him into my home. Seems like your brother has been ignoring the problem and is angry at you for daring to bring it to his attention. I don't know how your nephew behaves in school, but I have a feeling your brother has a similarly contentious relationship with his teachers. Not the asshole. I've told him the items over the years as it happened, but he always said it was an accident and that Michael's a boy and boys play rough. So if I'm reading this right, he's excused Michael's destructive behavior because of his gender. Then when you don't want a destructive child in your home, he has the gall to accuse you of sexism. He needs to look in a mirror and start teaching his son how to respect other people and their things instead of telling him that it's okay to destroy things because he's a boy. Not the asshole. I hate it when people say it because he is a boy. Like it is some sort of excuse to be a terror. My family had lots of boys and most of them are really good kids, polite and not